Hello YouTube, Flashlight Enthusiast here. If you asked me about my EDC flashlights, here they are. They are in rotation, I use them frequently, so here is the Armitech Prime C2 Pro, modified, All-Light Warrior 3 S, modified, the Emisar D8, stock, Emisar D4K, stock, another D4K, stock, the Zebrolite SC600W, stock, surprisingly because they're hard to mod. Last but not least, the KR4, stock. But there is this one D4K in October 2023 that I use the most, and it happens to be the new Triple Channel D4K from Hank Wong from internationaloutdoors.com. Hank created a separate tab on his website called Triple Channel Flashlight, and when you click in here, there's actually 3 different versions to choose from. A regular aluminum one, which is obviously the cheapest one, the titanium edition, but also recently added a copper one. So let's see what it offers in terms of LED choice and different features. So basically it's still an affordable D4K powered by 121-700 cell, and as you can see we can select from different anodization colors, including the stone white, then obviously switch retraining from flat and raised version if you prefer the accidental activation to be no problem anymore. Then the switch backlight, obviously the RGB feature is a welcomed one, and then 3 channels to choose from. As you can see, we've got one channel of 2 LEDs and then 2 other channels consist of one single LED. The choice is really wide, from SST20 to XPE LEDs, Osram 519A from Nietzsche, but also some UV and deep red LEDs. So I think everyone should find what they are looking for, and the choice is really wide. That's what I like about Hank, that you don't have to modify your flashlights anymore. They are built to order and you can customize them as you like. D4K Triple Channel comes as standard Emisar box with maybe a little bit more than usual markings here, but other than that it's really the same. Inside you will find traditional accessories like wrist lanyard and a couple of spare o-rings in case you need a replacement. I also ordered it with stainless steel bezel, but you can add some extra flooding optic or deep carry pocket clip. At this point I would really like to praise Hank's customer service, because when the flashlight first came in, after a couple of hours the green LED under RGB switch stopped working. Additionally, a stainless steel bezel that came with the set could not be screwed down on the head because of different thread pattern. I immediately reported this to Hank, and after a couple of emails he agreed to send me a spare head, which you can now see right on the flashlight, working just fine for another couple of weeks from now on. This example shows that Hank is only a human, however, if he makes some mistakes, he's not afraid to admit it, which is highly appreciated in our community. So, you might ask, Flashlight Enthusiast, what's so special about this triple channel flashlight? Well, it looks identical to my dual channel D4K, so it uses the high capacity 21700 cell, 4 LEDs, standard in Carclo optics, and the design is just an ideal EDC size for me. It lies great in my head, it provides a simple yet effective knurling here on the battery tube, and it's just overall a great size to my pocket, but also not sacrificing the power or functionality. It uses Android 2 with tons of different Enthusiast settings, and finally I got it with RGB switch, which means that I can now adjust auxiliary colors and switch colors simultaneously. Let me show you. You see, the problem with Hank designs is that they are too powerful. It's not that you cannot use lower modes, but if you have such power under your thumb, you tend to use it, you know, like in a sports car with lots of horsepower. Theoretically, you can drive safely and slowly, however, it's the temptation to use all these possibilities that you crave. With this triple channel, however, that's not the case because you have maximum of 2 LEDs per channel, so the actual heat management is much better on this one, because it's identical size with quite good thermal mass on the head, plus powerful and high capacity battery. You get really long runtime with enough brightness even from single LED. However, it does not provide this huge amount of wow effect, but rather practical beam with reasonable brightness. In terms of different modes and LED mixes, here they are. Plain white of 2 LEDs, red one, green one, then the mix of all LEDs, both white, green and red. Then you've got the mix of red and green, then red and whites mix, and then green and whites mix, returning to white only. So as you can see, we've got different versions, possibilities. Obviously you can turn off some of those modes if you don't intend to use them. However, I turn them on all of to show you guys what are the possibilities. So basically we've got all the different variants and mixes that this mix of LEDs provide. And if you are curious how to turn off some of those modes, then let me demonstrate. So basically we've got different modes that you change by triple clicking. Then you've got red, then you've got green, and then you've got something weird, which is the mix of white and green, and you don't want to do that, okay? We want to disable this mode, so you don't have it in the loop. Just white, green and red, alright? So then, when the flashlight is on, you do the 9H, so you click 9 times and hold at the last click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and hold. And then all the modes will be displayed, and once you go into the mode that you like to turn off, then you release the switch and then just simply do nothing. So 0 clicks will disable, and if you like to turn on the mode that you disabled previously, you click once. So basically now we've got white, triple click for red, triple click for green, and triple click will go back into the white mode. So all the previous modes that I showed you are now disabled and not in the loop. It's quite good actually to have this option. So this is probably the new function in Unreal that you have not seen in my tutorial, but basic functions obviously remains the same. So 1 click for on, 1 click for off, hold the switch from off to go into the Moonlight mode, or at least how it's called, the Moonlight mode, because definitely it's not that dim for a Moonlight mode, but that's okay. Hold the switch to increase and then decrease the brightness. And then actually there is this trick that triple click now acts as a ramping between different LEDs and etc. So step nodes are actually now under 6 click. So when the flashlight is on, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you've got your stepped mode as it was previously under 3 clicks, 6 click again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to go into the stepless dimming ramp. Alright, 4 clicks obviously. This is your lockout mode, and then obviously you can also lock out it physically, so that's even more safe and secure. However, using single LEDs has its own drawback, and Hank actually realized that. As you can see, we've got floody optics as standard rather than a simple throwy one with much more visible internals. That's because the beam pattern from single LED does not mix up with different LEDs, and it can provide some different artifacts in the beam. However, as you can see, that's not the case in here, thanks to this optics. With that being said, I have to mention that this is still a prototype to me, rather than a regular ready-to-use flashlight. I think there's still some improvement that it has to be addressed by Toykeeper, for example, in the UI. For instance, the Moonlight mode is rather high, and for some of you this might be a problem. If you try to set it on level 1, the flashlight will probably not turn on even, or have some malfunctions. Second thing is that as you ramp up, The auxiliary LEDs will also ramp up, but unfortunately, as they are on under the switch, they are also on under the optics while the flashlight is operating. This is fine with white LEDs, however, if you choose some red or green ones, it might actually be quite disturbing in the dark, especially with those blue ones as you try to preserve your night vision with red LED. There are also some blinkings indicated the edge of 4.1 and 4.0 volts, which is also quite unassuring. Also, one funny thing I recognize is that when you go to settings, the one LED will still be present. That's also quite weird. As you can see, there's this huge discrepancy in brightness between the white LEDs, so the main channel, and the color LEDs, and it's especially visible in the dark because these colors, red and green, are much differently visible to your eyes than white light. So green and red are much in my EDC because they do not disturb your night vision and help you go into the darkness without, straining your eyes, seeing better some contours, etc. Obviously no CRI here, but when I ramp up, this brightness to see something with green or red, and then I go accidentally or non-accidentally into white one, I simply blind myself because it's so different in brightness and perceiving. My sample shows no problem when setting the Moonlight level for level 1 in Unreal. However, if you try to slightly increase the brightness, there's this huge jump that is actually Moonlight set from the factory. So basically you can go as low as this, which is still quite high, but that's what Hank does in his modern constructions. It's not that bright compared to, for example, red or green one, which is good. Here are some lumen measurements of the D4K Triple Channel. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Okay, so please take two things into consideration. First one, I set the thermal limit to 70 degrees Celsius, so probably higher than most of you will. And the other one is that it's not a boost driver. So looking at turbo runtime graph, this time the two white LEDs, I have to admit this is definitely a momentary turbo. So we've got a step down roughly after 6 seconds, mind you, from 1952 lumens, without the head actually getting hot. So I'm not sure what to think about it. Is it the bug in the software or really just, the conservative measure from Hank to avoid overheating such small little flashlight? Nevertheless, we've got a stable 605 lumens for way over 2 hours before the flashlight started to step down to lower modes, and the flashlight body still stabilized at 64 degrees Celsius, so quite hot, mind you. The thermal mass is still quite limited in such a small construction. Here is the highest output of a second channel, so in that case my green LED. So here I measured 182 lumens at the start. As you can see, the regulation is still pretty good actually. I remind you, this is not a boost drive. However, we've got around 160 lumens sustained for overall runtime of 4 hours and 3 minutes before starting to step down to lower modes. The flashlight body stabilized at 54 degrees Celsius. So actually the theory is that green LED is actually giving you quite nice visible output with consuming much less energy than other colored LED, and I can confirm it once we go into the red one. So as you can see here, we've got similar output at start, 173 lumens, although to your human eye it's still quite dimmer, mind you, than the green one. However, around 130 lumens sustained with overall runtime of 3 hours and 40 minutes, so 20 minutes less with the same battery. But as you can see, it also produced a much less heat with 49 degrees Celsius stabilized with same thermal limit. Will be a little bit unfair to compare the D4K Triple Channel to other Hank lights. However, let's do this, alright? Let's see how it compares to single channel, dual channel D4K. So let's just switch on 2 LEDs at the time. Then let's try the dual channel KR4 with 2 Nichia 519A 2700K and 2 SST deep red LEDs for the red one. Last but not least, my beloved EDC flashlight, the modified Armitech Prime C2 Pro on the XHP 50.3 high intensity 4500K 96 CRI. I think you all see by now that the D4K Triple Channel finally gives you tons of possibilities of different LEDs inside your standard Hank Wong flashlight, without being a hot rod and much more practical design in terms of heat management but also brightness. I certainly hope that some bugs that I can see here throughout this review could be fixed in the nearest future so that you, the regular user or flashlight enthusiast, do not be bothered by this one. Thanks again Hank Wong for such an excellent customer service and providing a spare head while mine old one stopped working, and for being here for all our flashlight enthusiasts and providing excellent products for affordable prices so that we all can have what we want in the flashlights, and that is have fun and great CRI emitters. With that being said, please let me know what do you think about the KR4 and Triple Channel, maybe the versions you'd like to discuss or see in the future. Let us know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more videos to come and to support the algorithm of this channel. Thank you so much for watching now guys, and we'll see you in the next one.